personally don't want to work somewhere where I don't have fun. I don't want to wake up in the morning and have that feeling of, oh, it's Monday morning, I don't want to go to work today. I want to go somewhere where I enjoy my job. I want to go somewhere where I like the kids, where I like the staff. I want to go somewhere where people are smiling, where people are happy. I like giving high fives out in the hallway. You know, I like shaking people's hands. I like smiling and saying hello to everybody in the morning, and I want to work at a school like that. And I think that sort of intangible positive spirit bleeds over. I think this was another very successful year. You know, I've said for the last several years that AIS is a great school that just day by day keeps taking baby steps to get better. Indicators that I like to use are our SAT scores, our MAP scores, and our IB scores, obviously. And again, we had phenomenal IB scores. This is another year where we're anticipating 100%, and our MAP scores have increased dramatically. Most of the goals that we've implemented with MAP seems to be really successful. Some of our scores have gone up as much as 40% per grade level, so that's something I think we're really proud of. We've set clear goals and clear expectations both for the staff and for the kids. I think the leadership team has rallied around and followed through with each of those goals, and I feel like they've been very successful. I feel like the staff have bought into it, and I think conversely the kids have bought into it, and it feels like sort of one team all marching in the same direction, and I think that's one of the keys to our success. Our staff retention rate is probably one of our strengths. I think the key is that we have a really positive team spirit here, and I think people stay somewhere where they're happy, where they feel supported, where they feel like they're being recognized for what they're doing well. You know, there's a lot of articles out there about staff retention and what employers can do to increase staff retention, and typically I think the employee thinks, you know, more salary, more benefits, those sorts of things, but the literature basically goes contrary to that and implies that we stay somewhere where we feel supported, where we have lots of personal satisfaction, where we have lots of job satisfaction, where we're recognized for the good work that we do, and I think we've really done a good job of that at AIS, not just myself, but my entire leadership team, of recognizing people's strengths, putting them in positions where they are successful, and giving them the recognition they deserve for being successful. My counseling background gives me sort of a unique strength to sort of see people for who you are, if you will. I think that's one of the things that enables me to do a good job at hiring not just teachers, but quality educators, and helping people get into the position that they're best suited for, where they're going to be most successful. And so I feel like we've got a really, really solid leadership team this year. It's an honor to work with them. Anybody can be a good administrator when everything's running perfectly. So how do you deal with adversity? How do you deal with challenge? And I think this idea of unconditional positive regard, that people know that I'm not going to get angry, I'm not going to fly off the handle, I'm not going to lose my temper, but I'm also not likely to back down from a position that I need to if that's what's best for my kids and that's what's best for my staff. And so I think my parents, my students, my teachers, I think they see me as fair. I think they see me as firm. I hope they see me as fun. And that's the attitude that I want for all my leadership team. That we're going to support you no matter what, but we're also going to have tough decisions if that's what we have to do, but we're going to do it in such a way that every single person that we interact with goes away feeling like they were valued and respected and had a voice. I would much rather be the person sort of leading the charge than the person in the back giving direction. And I want people to buy into that. I want them to want to follow that charge. And I think one of the ways I tend to do that is by being as inclusive as possible. I want all my staff to feel included. I want them to feel like they have a voice. But there's also a time when you don't have time. Certain decisions don't have the time that you need to be inclusive. And when that happens, I think it's important to be decisive, have very clear and specific directions, and explain to people why that was a particular situation where you weren't inclusive, and why you need them to do what you need them to do. Being visible in the hallways is one thing. Being visible in the hallways and being positively visible in the hallways and in the classrooms and on the sports fields and at events is pretty much one of the primary things that research has shown that leads to student results. So I pride myself on being seen all the time and always having a smile and wanting to shake somebody's hands. The type of school that I want to be a part of, a school much like AIS, I want to be a part of a school where people enjoy going to that place, where it's a positive, happy place, a good place to be, where students wake up in the morning excited to go to school, where teachers wake up and look forward to it, where when summer's over you don't dread going back to school, but you're excited to have another year ahead of you and you're excited to see your colleagues. I want to be a part of a school where student achievement is the absolute number one goal. It's the most important thing in the school, is in each individual's academic achievement as well as their social and emotional well-being. And I think in a school like that, you need a really strong leadership team. I think they need to provide very, very clear directives for their staff. I think it needs to be direction that the staff buy into, that they agree with, that they feel value in. And I think that comes from very, very clear mission statements and learning principles that aren't just ambiguous, that are well-known and tangible and usable. A school that has one team, one goal, one directive, and where everybody's motivated to achieve and feel like they can.